Started it. Okay. Recording in progress now, and the webinar is started. Okay.
Okay.
So it might just be, it doesn't say, I'm not see actually, oh, one attendee. Okay. All right. Hi,
Okay.
Alyssa.
So now there's one, but why can't we see who that attendee is? Like
Hmm.
if I click on participants, I can't see who that is. It's
You
not
might be able
listed.
to. Oh, Karen Gall, Miss Gall is, oh, here she is.
Okay.
Yes, I'm still here.
But I mean in the participants list, down at the bottom where it says participants, it gives a number and there's a little caret. When you click on it, it doesn't
Yeah.
identify who they all are.
If you click on the participants, it should open up another window to the right
Oh,
of the screen.
oh, I
And
see.
then
Okay.
you're in the panelist area. And
Yeah,
then if you
yeah.
go to the right, it should be attendees.
Oh, okay.
And then you
Uh-huh.
can see our
I
attendees, and we
see.
see one of our attendees is Miss Gall, who should be a panelist. Miss Gall, are
Right.
you found yourself in the attendee area?
Yeah, I don't know why, but can you make me a panelist, please?
I unfortunately I don't know if I have
I
that.
have to
I
right click
can.
on my,
I can do it.
thank
Karen,
you,
are you
Karen.
receiving the link that gives you the panelist link?
Yes, now I am, yes.
So you can just use that to come in and then you don't have to worry about this part.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karen, I'm in.
Hey, I thought 1B ended at T Street, but from some of the licenses on here, it's in that block between T and S. But I thought 1B,
Oh,
I thought 1B's border was at T, not at S, but I am not sure, so it's a question. Do you know, Karen?
I could bring up, let me see if I bring up the border
Okay,
for A and C 1B
okay.
map. Let's check this out here.
I don't know
Okay.
off the top of my head.
Here we go. So, um, I can share, excuse me, a bit of a cough. All right. This map is a little small. I feel like it used to be bigger, but I guess they changed the website. That's fine. Um, okay. Let me just share my screen here.
Okay.
Um, okay, screen two, sure. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, it's gonna be is here. So let's see. Yeah, so we go on the west side. It ends on 14th Street,
Right.
but it goes down to S
Oh,
on
it goes all the way to S?
but yeah, between
Yeah, it does.
14th
Oh, okay.
and I guess this is 5th Street.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish this map was bigger. I think they used to have a bigger. Here we go. And it's a little better. But
Okay.
yeah, I don't even know if we have one on our website. We must, but this is the one I found right now.
Yeah, thank you. That answers my question because when I saw Cork and the garden, I thought, wait a minute, that's that's not us, but it is.
Yeah, it is us. Um, well, anyway, I'm going to get the meeting started.
Thank you.
I just heard, thanks for bearing with us. Sorry, a little technical difficulties joining, and I'm glad Miss Gall is here now. Glad to see you, Eileen. I think you've been kind of traveling or around with other projects for the last couple of meetings. I actually just got notice from a couple of folks that they're unable to make it tonight. Oh shoot, are we able to have this meeting? Because we don't have do we have a quorum? Let's check this out right now. This is crazy, man. Well, I don't know, guys. We there are rules, and I don't know if we have a quorum. Okay, do I count as a member? I do. I'm going to start taking attendance. It is Wednesday, April 22nd, 2025, 7 p.m. This is the Alcoholic Beverages and Cannabis Regulations Committee meeting of ANC 1B. We will start with a roll call of members. So I'm going to go with Myself, Chair Stephen Hanrahan, S&D 1B09, present. Frank Chauvin just emailed me that they are not able to attend they're not able to attend tonight. Miss Ashley Fields, Miss Karen Gall,
Present.
Arlene Johnson,
Present.
Azad Khani, okay. Stephen Rutgers just responded that they're unable to make it as well. They're not able to make it either. Rachel Scheckman had gave me prior notice that she is unable to make the meeting. And Alex Smith, let me quickly check my email to see if they've sent anything. They might have indicated that they couldn't make this meeting here. Well, Miss Fields, Miss Ashley Fields or Alex might be able to join us later. However, we currently have 3 members of what is listed as a 9-person committee, which leads to me to say that we might not have a quorum.
Yes, correct. Your math is
The math is math.
the math is the math.
The math is math. Yeah, I'm trying to make this math, and I don't know.
I'm gonna jump in. I was just texting with Miguel that you have to have 3 members for a quorum, but you might want to start meeting and talking about the businesses to see if somebody joins and then hold off voting until one other person joins in.
Clarify for me, who is the Miguel you're talking about?
Our chair, sorry, the ANC 1B chair.
Yes, Commissioner.
And that's based on what, other than his saying it, what is it based on?
The standards of practice for ANC commissions. He's the one that sort of makes sure we're following the rules.
Yeah. So I think, thank you for that, Karen. Thanks for checking with Miguel. Yeah, so I think, we may not, we can, yeah, right. We might not have a formal meeting, if we do not have, at least, Ms. Fields or Alex, if they're able to join us. If they're unable to join us, we might not have a formal meeting where we might not be able to formally vote on items for recommendations for the committee. However, we've gathered here. We have an agenda. We have a couple items that I want to discuss. And I think
Stephen, though,
yeah.
Can I just inquire as to what your thinking is on how long we just are in a free-floating discussion about the agenda without action, and how long we are waiting for the people who might show up? Because I'm missing another meeting to come to this.
I'm sorry.
And and I would not want to sort of like begin in earnest at 8 and then be here till 9:30, quite frankly.
Yeah. I don't know. I plan on doing that either. Yeah. And I mean, and also in full disclosure, we have a fairly, we don't have any new businesses. We don't have any new licenses who are applying for placards right now. So we don't have any business owners on the call. We don't have any representatives from the community potentially, maybe, who would speak to some of these licenses. Cool. in terms of like a formal way, in terms of like a new application. They're
Okay.
all you know, they're all renewals
Uh-huh.
largely. And so I was hoping to get the meeting done, and honestly, I was actually thinking this would be our quickest meeting. I was hoping we would get it done in under an hour. We'd be done by 8. So through which at this time, Ms. Gall, do you have your hand up?
Well, actually, I did. I just wanted to get a firm understanding if we're going to conduct business for today. I know we have the 3 as a quorum,
Yeah.
or are we going to move forward with tabling things? That's what I just wanted to make sure I heard you correctly on what you wanted to do. That's all.
Yeah. Um, Karen, what did Miguel said something about, so we, if we do have 3 members, and that's counting the chair, we are able to have a quorum?
No, sorry, because you don't count as a voting member.
Right, you don't,
So
yeah, that's the
Okay.
problem. You don't count as a, so if we have
Okay,
a
so we
vote
need,
and it's,
okay.
yeah,
Okay, so we need one more person to have a quorum. Okay.
yeah.
However, okay,
do you
well,
have any of their numbers to be able to text them to see if anybody can join?
that's a
Or
great question. Yeah, don't know if I have Ashley Fields's number. Um, maybe I do. I can check my email to see if she is around. Um, in the
While you're
meantime
doing,
though,
while you're doing that, I'm just gonna excuse myself for 5 minutes so that I can get my kids' dinner off the
okay,
stove and
okay,
on the table.
that sounds good. Save me a plate. Save us a plate. Miss Golf probably too. Okay. Miss Gall, do you have Ashley Fields' contact information? And I don't want to bother, like, it's a really nice night outside. She could be hanging out in one of these
I
wine
I
gardens.
I can text her quickly if that's what you want. Hold on.
Yeah. If you could, that would be great, but um don't feel like you're stressing her out or stressing yourself out. But yeah, I think while we're waiting for Eileen, I mean, I think it might be helpful just kind of talk through um these items for any background. I think ultimately the commission um votes to may vote to protest or not for these. There were a couple of ones that had raised um some eyes, and I think that without a full quorum here, we can revisit that in a more formal setting at the commission meeting. And I can discuss it at our committee of the whole meeting tomorrow night. um but we can just kind of talk it through with the commission, but perhaps we can get a little bit of just like informal discussion about some of these licenses that have come before ANC 1B, um and discuss them for just the general thoughts of this group informally. How does that sound to people?
That sounds great. What I'm texting I mean
Okay.
Miss Fields right now, and because I called and there was no answer, but I'm
Okay.
texting her now. Okay.
Yeah.
That
No
sounds great.
worries. It's like a super nice day. Like honestly, I was biking up and I was like, I totally forgot like even had this meeting. I mean, I knew I knew I had it, but you just got lost. Just got lost. Like I think everyone was just a lot right now, and we moved it a bunch of times. So I also apologize for having to move it. I think the first time I was on vacation, and now it was the district holiday, and next month, hopefully next month we'll be back to more of our regular third Wednesday of the month. Okay. Well, Ms. Johnson is figuring out the dinner. Um, for the attendees on the call, does anyone have any does anyone wish to introduce themselves here? Oh, see Jean's hands up. Hey, Jean.
Hi, I don't really want to introduce myself, but I'm Jean Humza. And since we got this downtime, I thought I'd float an idea I've been thinking about. And I was actually talking to Karen about earlier today, and that's either an early assist team or to reach out to businesses that are struggling.
Hmm.
What that's made up of would obviously be figured out by the committee, but it's not a novel idea. It comes from an organization called Responsible Hospitality Institute, and it's just an idea to try to help mitigate problems before they begin to be real big problems. So it's just an idea of trying to help struggling businesses around their ABC issues, not around their economic issues per se. And then there's no reason why this A and C couldn't have like we used the settlement agreement to try to get establishments to all be on the same page. But I was thinking that it might be an interesting thought to have a template when we hear about an ABC establishment and their ANC single member district rep would reach out to them, and whether it's a piece of paper on a piece of paper or a website we could send them to or whatever, that number one, reach out to your neighbors, right? We're always
Mhm.
asking them, have you reached out to your neighbors? But we asked them that when they should have already done that, like not in the beginning. I don't know how we could implement it, so that these people, when they first put in their application to ABRA, we know and we can reach out and interact with them before they show up and tell us a business plan, and then everybody's like, oh my God, oh no, or you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is a
Maybe
great point.
too ideal or something, but just some things to think about.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great point. I think that's like our goal. It's like our it's like our goal for this year. Is to try and do a better job of that and do that. It
Oh, it's not
is,
an easy thing, but we
yeah.
have so many ABC establishments that your template might be a template for the city. I don't know. I mean, I just trying to get us to think in a more especially since the pandemic, businesses sometimes struggle to think outside the box, or they think too much outside the box,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I don't know, just have help in the form of the neighborhood community, just like conversation sometimes, or someone an operator whose experience could walk into a new establishment or a newer establishment or a struggling establishment and often be able to identify one or two things right off the bat that, if they change, might help them or make the place safer, or
Hmm.
like any number of things.
Hmm. Hmm.
um anyway, just
Hmm.
throwing something out, see what sticks. And
Hmm.
since we had this downtime, I thought I put it out there.
No, I love that. I think that's really helpful. Um, yeah, I mean, I think um our goal is to try and when the placards are posted to try and uh jump like do like the early reach out to the businesses, the business owners, and get the single member district on board to try and do a like come to a settlement agreement or just do like the early outreach with them. We don't have any tonight, but I think in the definitely like, that's our goal for the year and the future is just to try and do a better job of that coordination, especially like, we don't want to like ourselves, we don't want to have to go through the protest process, which is like beleaguering to the ANC commissioner, is I'm not to mention I'm sure like a business owner, you know, like it's like, oh, like all these meeting like a 10 a.m. Monday, and then the next week it's like Thursday at 1 p.m. for this other thing, and then something else here. Like, you know, no one has like a full-time job to even just do that. It's a full-time
Right.
job just to try and attend those protest meetings. So, you know, we don't want to, you know, when we say, especially when we say protest, I think like no one, we don't want to go through with the whole protest thing. Like if we can get the settlement agreements done quicker, it would be much better. It would be much better. And that's our goal. So that's really our goal for like the whole year. But again, it's just hard because it's like, you know, like hard even getting people to get a quorum for the meeting and stuff like that. So, um, and I think our template is good. I think it was passed on to me. I inherited it. It came from somewhere. It came from like last year's term and the work that was done in the interim. And I think it's pretty good. I think we want to look after it and maybe tickle an eye with it with an attorney. Um, I think settlement agreements they're the tool we have, and I think there's certain barometers on that can help out that can help out the community in terms of, you know, hours of operation is probably like the number one thing. Hours of Summer Garden, um, the certain endorsements that are being sought, like that is something we can negotiate with on the settlement agreement. For other things that are a little bit more unclear, like loitering, I'm not sure exactly how much a settlement agreement can really address loitering of patrons outside of a place. Don't know. I don't know if I don't even know if ABCA how can they even enforce it, right? It's like, so I think it's the settlement agreement really is a tool that I think is more helpful for the community and the neighbors and local residents who live close to these places and want to feel like they aren't being overwhelmed by them. I would love it to also help businesses and to help struggling businesses too. Like I think last month we had the Ace Lounge representative saying that they're trying to find ways to enhance their customer base and just asking for later hours. That seemed like a proposal that the ANC wasn't for. But, you know, maybe if we did more outreach to the business, if we like went there a couple times and just tried to see, you know, what the Ace Lounge is like, you know, could we you know, just get a better sense of like what their business model is and how it could be helped by other people. You know, and then just like creating like a stakeholder list of like the different businesses and like trying to see about that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much settlement agreements can really help the businesses themselves. I don't know. I don't know that side. I don't know like the operating side of it for them. But
Well, it depends upon what is in the settlement agreement, obviously, and what the operator is trying to do, and everybody is different, and you know,
yeah,
so it's not really about. I'm thinking actually, you know, I'm not looking for another layer, but I was just thinking, in terms of you know, the settlement agreement is what it is. It's a contract, a binding contract. I'm thinking of something more, just like a hi, how do you do when somebody's trying to start a business and um hey, have you reached out to your neighbors, you know, like the things that you hope they'll do, and instead of hoping, asking them to do it would be. But the thing of it is knowing when a business is, you know, put in their application, and that would mean a different form of communication probably from Abra. I don't know. I don't.
yeah,
I know that you get the placarded information, but that's once the paperwork is done and everything, you know, is happening. So it's
yeah,
it's difficult, but I'm just uh my goal always is try to set people up to succeed. Everyone is not going to. But you do that, by helping them and giving them instruction, and like we often do, have you talk to your neighbor, whether it's about zoning or ABC or whatever. We're always asking, have you talked to your neighbor, right? And what do your neighbors think? And they're like, oh, I haven't talked to them. And it's one of the first things that really would be so great if we could communicate, talk to your neighbors, and then give us that feedback. And because I've seen it, I've been participating in these ANC for a long, long, long time. And I find them to be generally very reasonable. And all they're wanting to know is that people are communicating and doing the best they can. I mean, obviously that's not always a story for success, but it's what I've seen over the years. What's the goal? For ABC, you want people to be in compliance, or zoning or whatever it is. But we always want to know, well, what does your neighbor think? And it's just not generally where a business starts.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. No, thank you. That's great.
just fill in time.
No, thank you. Commissioner Barrio has his hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to give an update that the Westminster Neighborhood Association also agreed or sorry, voted to protest Ace Lounge's proposal for expanding hours. And at that meeting, there was a more extensive discussion with the business owner about, why he was asking for the hours extension. Trying to I do think the attitude was trying to help him in another way that wouldn't involve expanding the hours. But he was saying that, he's hoping to sell food from 4 to 6 a.m. They want to reheat food. And that, it would be a competitive advantage for them to be open during those hours. And I think the WNA had concerns about them being open that late and for Ace Lounge becoming a late night spot for people to come to the area later at night. So yeah, that I just wanted to give a quick update for the folks that are on that did occur. So the ANC and the WNA have both protested.
Thanks, Francois.
Yeah, of course. And also just seconding what you and Gene have been saying about, I think we really want to be proactive. We have full-time jobs. We have lots of other things going on in our lives, but, we're doing this because we care, because we want to help the neighbors succeed, the neighborhood succeed, and we want to help the businesses succeed. So, definitely the more proactive outreach we can do, the better in terms of, establishing those relationships. And we're planning a business roundtable soon. There aren't any dates selected yet, but I think it would be great for people from the APCO committee to attend that, and that way we can develop relationships with business owners in the area. And, people like Gene and other business owners just have so much institutional knowledge that, us ANCs are new to the game. And I know not every committee member is an expert in running a business, a bar, a restaurant. So, I do think that'll be a great way to learn more from owners in the area and know what to look out for in terms of, both good operators that we want to support and, operators that might cause issues to the neighborhood that the ANC would want to advocate for our settlement agreement or for some other resolution to concerns that we have.
Thank you. That's great. Thank you. That's a great update. Thank you for that.
Of course.
I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, let's I think yeah, please keep this committee an update. Or if you send anything my way, I'll send it to the committee too for updates for ways to business roundtables or that future ongoing relationship building. Cool. All right. Well, it doesn't appear like we have a quorum. However, I don't think there's no guarantee if we move the meeting to a time next week, we might have a quorum either. It seems like we might have just kind of might not have a great quorum effort going on right now. But however, I think this agenda, we don't have there's not a major item as discussed. There's no new application. There's no new business who is here who would really require that deep dive with the committee to find out what the ANC should do. We have these updates for the active protest. We have some renewals, and I think I'd like to just kind of get into it. Start just like, talking it through. We've only heard 2 of these 17 renewals. We've only heard of 2 of them, of little reports from the, or 18. We've only heard 2 reports from the S&D commissioners about that. Of kind of like flags that they have. So 16 of them might be kind of nothing to really get into. But I think we have the time, and we might even wrap up still by 8 p.m. We have folks here. Let's just go at it. So active protest updates. So yeah, thank you, Francois, for we were just talking about the commission did vote to protest the Ace Lounge based on the committee's feedback recommendation at the last commission meeting for 1817 7th Street Northwest for the substantial change in license to sell food till 6 a.m. Or just be open till 6 a.m. We're waiting next steps. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. It sounds like the Westminster Association also did move to protest this. So that might, 2 protests might be a considerable change to their decision making. But I'm not sure what the next steps are, but thank you, committee, for that. Just let's get the update. The next one is also the 1351 U Street for this is a new application. There's a new application for a Class C tavern license. Commissioner Harris, who's unable to attend this meeting tonight, was able to say that she's got the situation under control. She's going to attend the roll call hearing and meet with the applicant, and will keep us up to date on those next steps as well. So some Q&A here. We're working under the elected ed and we work those ANC working on the subject. Okay. Thank you. Anonymous attendee, do you want to speak to this at all in a if you raise your hand, I will call on you to discuss if you want to. Thank you.
Who is that? It says anonymous attendee.
Yeah, I actually don't know.
Well, that's okay. That's my question.
Hi, and you if you would like to speak. Okay. Okay, we answered that. Now we go to renewals. Yeah, so we've had a couple of renewals come in. Apparently, this has been prefaced that this year is going to have multiple different renewals coming in for the year. I think the tavern licenses, there's a lot of them, and they're on this calendar cycle where they're going to come in a lot. Most of these actually for restaurants. But I think this is somewhat of a regular thing, and so I'm going to read them out one by one, the Aber license, and just discuss. And if anyone has any things they want to flag or mention, please, I welcome them. All right, so the first one we have is Abra 071881 for the Lero Restaurant and Lounge. This one was actually flagged by Commissioner Harris, who is the single member district for the area, for that they have received several noise complaints from neighbors. Perhaps they have a band sometimes, and sometimes the band makes noise, or is kind of, the band causes challenges with noise. I tried to FOIA the noise complaints. This is actually what I got. Yeah, I don't even know if this is very helpful, because it's basically doesn't say the dates. I guess I should have asked the ABCA for the dates for FOIA, but they just told me like there's complaints against noise. I don't know if this is over a course of 10 years, of 1 year, of 3 years. maybe in the course of 1 year. I also don't have enough institutional knowledge to know like how often a place gets complaints. Does anyone have any thoughts on the Alero or some of the, like this kind of noise complaint we've heard?
Did you say you cannot determine the date on the noise complaint?
That's correct. It wasn't sent to me when I FOIA my FOIA request did not produce. APCA did not attach a dates to the noise complaints.
Well, I'd be surprised, but I am aware that when the Ellington was built, you talked about history, that there was a problem in the HVAC where one of the HVACs from Malero, one of the oh, help me, the actual system, the vent was connected to someone's bathroom in the new building. And so when it very first opened, I know Alero was getting noise complaints because the salsa music was coming into this individual's bathroom. I'm assuming, and I can't remember how it was resolved, either by them moving them because it was apartments or and then fixing it or however, but that's all I'm aware of historically about Alero.
Okay.
And that would have
Alright.
been when they opened however many decades ago.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that's that issue. That's
Yeah.
what I know.
Thank you. No, that's good. That's some good,
You know?
some good history there. Yeah, I think Commissioner Harris did mention, I think she lives in the vicinity to the establishment, and so she was more in touch with them. I'd like to connect with her and just get a little bit more background on kind of her thought process on what her thoughts on that institution outside of this, and I'll just make a note of that myself. But their license is up for renewal. They have there's nothing that's particularly changing in their license that's already existing. So I'll just note to follow up with Commissioner Harris after before the meeting.
And I'd just like to share with you, everybody is up for renewal this year. All licenses are up for renewal. Even if you just got a brand new license, it's up for renewal.
How often do renewals happen, Gene?
3 years. And they
3
used
years.
a lot of this changed around the pandemic and also trying to make things easier for the business. So right now, in the spring, you're getting all the CXs, that's us. And theaters, like the Source or whatever are CXs. And you're getting all the restaurants. These are all restaurants.
Yeah.
And then in the fall, I think it's all taverns. And clubs.
Okay.
Oh, so that's you got to kind of gear up for these years when these happen because you guys are busy. Look at this list of restaurants. So anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what's happening to you.
No, it's helpful. Gene, while we have you, and apologies for jumping around, but actually I would like to jump, I think maybe to the final one. We have ABRA 123697 for Howard Theater. At 620 T Street Northwest. License up for renewal. Nothing particularly that they're asking for. But however, there was a couple of, I think Commissioner Barrio has kind of heard some reports from neighbors about that post events. There's a impetus to wanting to have better management of crowd control, and people kind of dispersing from events or not hanging out in the vicinity or creating noise. There is a settlement agreement with Howard Theater. There is board controls regarding trying to ask for an NPD unit to try and manage it. Gene, are you aware of any of these?
I am not.
Okay.
I'm not. It's amazing we're not that many blocks away, but you really don't I have no idea.
Okay.
Frank Chauvin probably has
Yeah.
a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
I would think. Because that's a part of that, 600 T Street.
Mhm.
It's that block, and it's just got such a variance of myriad of issues. But when we did our walk the other night, on Friday night, there was nothing happening at all. It was totally dead. There was nobody, like the brewery was closed, so whatever they're doing is working on some level with the T Street Task Force.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, I think that's my, you know, if they were asking for like a change in the license or something like that, maybe it would be an opportunity to renegotiate a settlement agreement with them. But my thought is we do have a settlement agreement already. I don't know how much a new settlement agreement would really change. I think it's a matter of really like the enforcement part of it. It's really a matter of like the T Street Task Force and like trying to leverage these things that have been created and to try and work
Well,
with them.
I would recommend that whoever I think you said Barrio is their
Mhm.
principal, is their
Yeah.
single member rep, to just reach out and talk to them and see what's going on and ask them how they're doing it. And
Okay.
they probably have a security plan. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
that's what you want to make sure that they're adhering to. And things change and you need to change with them. Like when you sometimes write a security plan, it's not always necessarily going to be the same 2 years from now, because
Yeah.
things change with the pandemic, dramatically changed people's business plans. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm not familiar, so it's not, I wouldn't be comfortable saying anything about Howard, but I always recommend, reach out and talk to them. And, most businesses are responsive to that. Maybe they're not aware of how much of the impact they're having on the neighborhood until you tell them.
Yeah.
Just sharing,
That's
an
helpful.
idea.
That's helpful. Question on that. How does ABCA enforce the security plan, or where does the security plan kept?
Abra keeps it, and
ABCA keeps it.
yeah, it's a part of your ABC license. Your fire plan is kept by the fire marshal. I mean, lots of plans, trust me, that have a business, and get a C of O even. So, the Abra has that, and I think that's probably, one of the things that makes Frank really freaked out is how and I don't want to speak for him, but I know it upsets him that the settlement plans, you have these agreements, and then who enforces it. And ABC doesn't carry guns, and they're not, like, they can issue citations, and yes, they can have a huge impact on whether you keep a license or not, but your enforcement is always going to be MPD. They have to be there. For anybody to get arrested for anything, MPD has to witness it. And the same thing for Abra. Abra has to go and investigate. Somebody can say, "Oh, they're serving underage." Well, if that's the case, they have to go in there and prove they're serving underage. And then MPD has to be with them for anybody to get arrested. Otherwise, they just get, the citation and go before the board and can lose their license and things like that, which is pretty dramatic. But trust me, it's a lot more dramatic if you get arrested. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
So there is the problem, I guess, when you're talking about enforcement, is how is that done? And I would invite a conversation with either Fred Masali or Sean Gordy is the, I think, legislative guy over there. If you haven't met Fred, he's really great. I mean that. I really admire Fred Masali. We're very fortunate to have him. But he can only do what the law tells him he can do. It's not like he's not, ignoring his duties. So sometimes things are legislative fixes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to fix everything that's wrong, you know? I mean, you just keep tweaking stuff and I don't know.
Yeah.
But so there's like, you know, there's no reason that you shouldn't meet with Fred or you know, invite him to one of these meetings, but
That's a great idea. What can you repeat his name again?
it's Fred Musali, M-O,
Oh yeah, Musal. Okay. Right.
yeah,
Frank keeps mentioning he's
the
yeah,
director.
director of that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he used to be at the ABC board's lawyer, role that Martha
Oh,
Jenkins had until recently, and I don't know who she retired, and so now I don't know who's over there. But they had like really smart team. They take their jobs very seriously. And like when we were on this walk, we had an ABC guy with us, and somebody had a roll-up door, like literally, like they may as well not had any construction between their establishment and the street as music blaring, and all he had to do was show his license and windows got closed and doors got closed, and you know, I mean, makes a difference. And you don't even have to, like, I'm
yeah,
here, like, pay attention. We're paying attention to what you're doing, and that's important, right?
yeah.
So I don't know. I don't have answers for all this stuff. Or we've done all this stuff a long time ago, but I do recommend that, especially because you're new, chair of this committee, that, you know, sure, go talk to him, find out, tell him what your biggest issues are. He'll explain to you what he can and he cannot do. An example of that is we being the business community, been losing our minds about the people selling alcohol out of the trunks of the cars on the street, you know, the street party that's going on. That was sort of the impetus behind us having that meeting at Lincoln Theater. Literally,
Mm.
it was stemmed from that. And Fred, you know, everybody's like, yeah, Fred, what about that, Fred? And Fred said he can't
Can't do much.
he can't regulate anything he doesn't license.
Yeah,
He doesn't license people sell alcohol
yeah,
in the trunks. And plus,
yeah,
on top of that, they're not the SWAT team. What are they gonna do? Like,
yeah.
hey, give me your alcohol.
No,
So
I don't do that. No
us
one's do
under
that.
we also underneath need to understand everybody's limitations. And instead of getting mad at them, is there a legislative fix that we all need to go lobby for?
Yeah,
You know, and I don't want to legislate everything in the world. I'm not that person. But at the same time, some things just are legislative fixes, because we found out by my asking that question that selling alcohol out of the trunk of your car is only a misdemeanor. A misdemeanor. But yet an ABC establishment can lose their license, their livelihood, the employees, if
Mhm.
they were selling alcohol out of the back of their establishment, out of the back door or something.
Yeah,
If it's crazy. It's crazy
yeah.
that that's only a misdemeanor.
Right.
So that's a legislative fix that in the Nightlife
Oh, for
Association.
crime, for crime.
Yeah, like, you know, and so nobody's going to arrest somebody where it gets papered and it doesn't get prosecuted. What a waste of time. And I don't want to take MPD off off of U Street to do that anyway, right? Unless they're going to get prosecuted. So, I mean, you know, there's a lot going on, many layers, many layers. So yeah, talk to Fred, because he's just, you know, he's a really nice guy, and he'll tell you what's going on.
Okay.
And he's a
That's
lawyer, so he understands the law. That's
okay.
his job.
I'll try and do that. Thank you.
Sure.
Ms. Gall or Eileen, do you guys have any thoughts on things that Gene was saying, or bringing Fred Mosley into a meeting at one point in time?
He's
Also,
been here, he's come to the committee before, and very generous with his time. And so if he has time and a specific area that you want to discuss with him, I'm sure he'd be open to trying to make it happen. But we don't want to waste anybody's time.
yeah, 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 yeah. I don't want to waste his time either, but I think maybe we could shoot for something in the before the fall, maybe just once we get a little more stuff under our belt in terms of, I don't know, process or settlement agreements. We can maybe ask them just some questions on, you know, enforcement, or, you know, what stuff we're putting in settlement agreements that APCA can't enforce anyway, or what stuff, you know, can they enforce to try and just get us to be better at that too. And
Mm-hmm.
something be
My
helpful.
my ears perked up hearing Jean say that Martha had retired. I did not know that. So I'm wondering who is going to replace her. I always found her to be uh very helpful whenever over the past years, whenever I emailed her about a question about something, or there was a snag in a particular protest procedure or something. And so I hope that her replacement will be, you know, equally accessible and available. So I'm going to have to look into that, who that is. But I'm sorry to see her go.
And I'm gonna add awesome. We really lost a great public servant.
Oh, yeah, he's such a great public servant, really.
She was a rock star,
She
and
was a she totally, totally. Yep.
so
Yep.
she went back to Kansas with her sister, and they're gonna live their retirement there. And I wish her all the best. And
Oh, wow.
I'm with you and hope that we get someone as and you know, I'm sure Fred will do a good job of finding someone. I trust him. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I do worry about the funding crisis and how that's all going to play out for
Oh
a
God.
vital issue, a vital agency like them. So I do hope that that he's able to hire a replacement, and that, you know,
Well, they have to have. They're the lawyer for the board. They have to.
they have to. I
I
mean,
don't think
that's a critical FTE. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
I don't think they can just ignore that position.
Yeah.
And fortunately, that's actually one of the reasons why we have to make sure that we take care of our ABC establishments, because our ABC establishments, in theory, with their fines and licenses and everything, fund the ABC department. You know,
Hmm,
that's the idea. It
that
funds
makes
itself.
sense.
So yeah, you want healthy, good operators. You know, healthy establishments, good operators.
I like
And
that.
get the
I'm gonna
community to
write that
go out and
down.
support these people again. You know, they need us to stop doing DoorDash and come out and really, you know, the waiters and waitresses don't make money off of DoorDash. So how we can get the community to come out and support these people again.
Yeah. Maybe if we make it through the whole year, we could do a big U Street bar crawl. Yeah.
Don't tell Kami at the saloon. He'll get very upset.
Oh, I want to go that way. Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, I've never been a big proponent of the massive bar crawl, but
You
I
know, like
hear you.
rage or anything?
I hear you.
Maybe we could do something nice, like, I don't know, dinner or something. Um, okay. Well, I think
It's 8 o'clock.
it's 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock. These are the only ones, I think Alero and Howard were the only ones that were really flags for us. All the other restaurants, there was nothing to come up. Fun fact, Mita was rated as like the best new restaurant in DC by Washingtonian. It's like a vegan place or vegetarian place or something like
Great.
that. But yeah, yeah.
Oh, really? Where are they located?
Um, that's actually a good question. Let me look up them. Let me look up their address. Mita, yeah, vegetable experience. It's a Michelin star. Oh, ooh, it's expensive. It's on V Street, 804 V Street Northwest.
Huh.
ATV?
Oh,
Wow.
wait.
Really?
Yeah, wait, where is this?
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah. Oh, you know, maybe it's next to Andy's. It's next to the Andy's Pizza. that's
oh,
there, or maybe on like the second floor
American
or
Ice over there by
something.
American Ice.
No, it's across. It's
804. Oh, that's in the Atlantic Plumbing.
oh, yeah. It's Google.
Oh,
Google says it's like across from Atlantic Plumbing. Um,
Oh, okay, so what's the address again? Sorry.
804.
Oh,
I'll
oh,
put it in the
oh.
chat here. Just
So that is
Google
on,
link.
that is at 8th and V. That is going to be the southwest corner. There, it's across from Hakan.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Okay,
what it looks
and
like. It.
it's right on the corner. And Declaration was the name of that restaurant that nobody went to before the pandemic. It was called Declaration, and it's been closed for a long time. But that's got to be that corner there.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Andy's Pizza took over where the next restaurant.
Yeah, I guess that's the corner.
So that's a new license then.
It looks, yeah. No, it's not a new license. It's a renewal. It says it's been there for. Well, let me just check and make sure.
Mita?
Mita, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tells
a
you how
new
much I
license in July 2023.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of new stuff and new businesses like coming and going in those like buildings over there. So it's kind of hard
Right.
to like see exactly
Because
what
I
it
know there's
is.
something going to be coming on on 8th Street in the Atlantic Plumbing, where there'd been a waffle and chicken place or an oyster boys or something. I don't know. Nothing. There's just not enough foot traffic over there right now for that. It's really a struggle.
Yeah.
Con has really great, it gets packed and it does well. But just going around the corner, they struggle.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But that's another ANC now, so
Oh, interesting.
that's the ANC 1E.
Oh, right. Interesting. It's crazy. Okay. But yeah, it's 8 o'clock.
All
The other
right,
one
I'm
is
good.
the 9:30 club. Maybe we should recommend a protest. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Please don't make please,
I don't like that place.
please don't make me come through this camera. Please.
Probably not.
All
No.
right. Well, I would trust and hope that any of you know how to get a hold of me, would tell me if we are doing something wrong. You will let me know. We will fix it.
Thank you.
Whatever we
Gene.
can do. I mean, that's always been, that's what my friends, my buddies on the corridor, we all want to be in compliance. It's hard for a small business. Boy, that's one of the things that our nightlife association's taken on. Just the paperwork and stuff these guys have to do, like John Solomon, who's a single operator, and it's stuff like that I would like to be spending my energy on and stuff. So all right, you guys, I appreciate having the opportunity to chat with y'all and haven't gotten protested. Thank you.
Of course. All right. Thanks, Gene.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
So long.
But yeah, it's 8 o'clock. I think the rest of these are restaurants that nothing was flagged for us in the investigative reports or in the single member district reports. But I'll circle back with these two items, the Howard and Alero with the single member districts commissioners, and then I'll also check in with our commission as a whole, kind of let them know that we weren't able to have this meeting as a quorum. But I think that, given some of the discussion and given some of our insights and the work that we've done with the investigative reports history, that I don't know if there's a need to reschedule this. I think we were just going to shoot for the May meeting. There's going to be a bunch more renewals then to talk about as well, and probably I think a one or two new businesses too. And they'll actually try to be there, and we'll try to have a more regularly scheduled time and get people on there. So, Eileen and Ms. Gall, thanks for attending. You guys are great. You guys get the gold stars. It was great to listen in to Gene in the discussion here, and let's wrap up and see you guys next month, or see you at the commission meeting next week.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Eileen.
All right. Have
Thanks,
a great
Ms.
night.
Gall.
Good night. Have a great day.
Have a great one.
Have a great one. Thank you. Thanks, Karen.